What's up, fanboys and fangirls? Welcome back to another episode of the What the Fanboy Show. Tonight we are here at full strength. Tyler's here to my left, and Luke's over there too.
Full strength?
What's
our strength level?
I assume you've been hitting the gym, Luke.
Yeah, after last week or was it maybe 2 weeks ago when I was like, I'm a swimmer, but I have no muscles. I was like, I should probably hit the gym. So I've gone 0 times since then.
Nice. Nice. I love the commitment.
Haven't even signed up.
To the pod, to the gym.
My dedication to the pod is unyielding. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the right use. Well done.
Well, if you're not listening to us live, 'tis the season for football, and Luke, who's playing tonight?
It's the Giants and the Seahawks.
Okay, Giants and Seahawks, not teams that we're terribly engaged with.
No,
but
won't be paying that much attention to.
We may still give an update every once in a while.
This is the time of year where Luke and I are like half attending the show, and Brett's like trying to keep things on the rails.
How do we still end up going over an hour?
I don't know. We just get rolling on
really
random
entertaining.
Tangents.
We're just 3 guys having a good time. Having a good time.
Trying to look up who scored a touchdown because I may or may not have money on this.
Money.
Ah, yes. One leg of my parlay has officially hit. We have live parlay updates throughout the show.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, now this is I feel like this is going to be another category that we're going to have to tap into
No. It's just because I have it on this game.
Dude,
okay.
What the fanboy is, you can be a fan of anything.
Yeah.
Fan of sports betting. As long as it doesn't become a problem.
Correct.
Tyler, do we need to have an intervention?
No.
Okay.
No.
I don't think you've ever used
he was
money they haven't just given you in the app or whatever.
I think I put the $5 in.
Initial, and then it's
to get the initial.
Oh, and here's your extra $200. Thanks for hanging out.
And
with
then
us.
I pulled all of it out, bought myself a Terry McLaurin jersey, and then put 25 of it back in.
Right.
And then my Terry McLaurin jersey wasn't the right size because the Commanders jerseys fit different than the old Washington jerseys did, and so because of the branding, I don't know, it's weird.
They switched from Reebok to Nike or something.
No, they're both Nike, but the Commanders ones have that. They have the font across the front, and it has a different neck now because it used to have the flywire neck. So the neck of it was really tight.
What is it now? Just crew?
I don't know what it is. I don't even know what it would be called.
I feel like we really need you to do some research on this and give us a nice 10-minute deep dive next week.
I just had an idea for NFL jerseys.
Uh-huh.
I'm thinking deep V, so you can see the pads.
Ooh,
but then the chest a little bit too. That would be
interesting.
Let's switch it up big time.
Yeah,
let's get real weird.
Might be as bad as the sleeved super tight Christmas jerseys the NBA added, where everybody goes, "This is horrible,"
and LeBron,
but I kind of like it.
But LeBron always rips them out or whatever. He gets so mad.
I'm messing with his game, man.
Oh my goodness! Well, one day, Baroque, we will have a DraftKings sponsorship for sure, simply because of Tyler.
We're gonna need more than 5 listeners to get a DraftKings sponsorship.
This is true.
Hey, now, Tyler's betting section is
my numbers are all based on our YouTube videos. To be fair.
Hey, thank you. Shout out to those of you who watch the show on YouTube.
We appreciate you.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, let's get into the episode. There's a few new trailers this week. One that I know Luke absolutely didn't watch because he hates animated things. I'm just kidding. You told me literally, no offense, but
I'm just curious what it is.
Wish.
Oh, I already forgot about it.
This is Disney's next animated movie. The teaser came out 4 months ago or something.
I was gonna say, I feel like we got a teaser for this forever.
We got a teaser a while ago.
It wasn't a teaser for the trailer.
It was a proper teaser trailer.
Yes.
Yeah. So, I think this looks fine. It's one of those movies that's kind of been in development hell over there for a long time. They've been trying to get this made.
I think this one was announced before or right when Elemental was announced too.
Yeah.
I think they were announced at like the same time. So, and Elemental's already to streamers and
Yep.
stuff. So,
Yep. Indeed. But yeah, that it's kind of a sideways thumb. I'm so. Disney hasn't done a lot to impress in the last couple years, so yeah, it's fine.
I mean, at least it's not a sequel.
True. Slightly more unique than that. So,
And the cast is good.
and a pretty good cast. So there's reason to believe it'll be good.
Is it a musical?
Probably. I mean, I think there's songs in
Wish Disney movie.
Don't order Disney from Wish.
it. Wish.com. The other one I have written down here is Argyle. Last week we talked about the teaser for the teaser
trailer,
or the teaser to the trailer, which we were annoyed about. This started off and I really hated it, and then it did the like 45 seconds in little record scratch moment. And look, I still don't think this looks all that interesting. We've seen it done before.
Just recently.
Yeah, not that long ago with Lost City.
Mhm,
That's what it was. Yeah.
Matthew Vaughn's The Lost City is what this is.
Yeah.
That's all I could think about when I watched it. And I showed it to Dana
Mm-hmm.
because Dana loves Henry Cavill, so anything he's in, she's, interested in. So I showed it to her, and she goes, "That looks like a movie," and I was like, "Ooh, okay." It didn't sell Dana, so
Yeah, it's really. And I think I mentioned this to you guys. Like the only thing that interests me is Sam Rockwell. Like
he'll be fun.
he'll probably have a fun time eating up his screen time.
Yeah,
Um,
he'll be fun.
But other than that, like it's not one I would like. I know it'll be in. I think it's gonna be in theaters, but
it's an Apple movie.
it's an
Yeah.
Apple, and I'll just watch it on the streamer.
Yep.
It's not one I'm gonna rush out to theaters to go to unless it gets like rave reviews.
I think I don't know why it even annoys me, but it annoys me how they're like trying to push you. The real Agent Argyle is Henry Cavill. It's the cat. The cat is a spy,
The cat. Oh yeah, for sure.
and I don't know. I think I've seen it before, and I don't know if I have the energy to do it again. And it doesn't look, I mean, any different really from the other ones. Is it R-rated?
I don't know actually.
I'm not sure if it's rated.
It's Matthew Vaughn, so that's really why I asked.
Yeah, there's a chance, and the fact that it's not coming to a streamer, so I could see them, and it being Apple, I could see them leaning into that. I don't know if it has a rating yet.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I'm not seeing anything, so
Yeah, not.
It just looks like The Lost City with Matthew Vaughn's Kingsman style added to the top of it, and we're just like, yeah, here we go. So I don't know. I'll watch it because it's on Apple, but
yeah. Luke, I know you had a couple trailers over there.
I did. 2 animated Netflix shows that are coming, both based on video games. First one is Devil May Cry. I don't know if you guys have ever played those games.
I played like the first one
Okay.
long ago.
I've never played it,
yeah.
so I don't really have any emotional attachment whatsoever. But like the 15 seconds they showed looks cool. It's Studio Mirror. I
They have
really like
awesome
their
music.
animation. Yeah. It's Adi Shankar. Take that with what you.
Yeah, if you liked Castlevania, this
Yeah.
will probably be in the
Some
same
people
vein.
really like it.
Yeah, he's pretty polarizing.
Yeah.
Like just with everything he does,
Yeah.
you have the people. There's not really a
True.
middle ground with him.
Mhm.
Like you either hate it or you are like all in. He's
And I think
the
Castlevania was a lot more positive.
greatest. Yeah.
But the other one is Tomb Raider. I don't remember the subtitle. The Legend of Lara
The
Croft.
Legend of Lara Croft. Yeah.
Yeah. Which I don't know if this is like just a Tomb Raider game, or did it kind of look like it was based like in the new games.
That's what I was gonna ask
they
about.
have the photo,
family picture,
and it's the characters from the game.
Right.
It's like, okay,
I
that's
was
cool.
I was kind of wondering if it would pop up at the end of the trailer, like set in the world of the games or whatever, but it didn't. But I agree with you. I think it looks just like the same group of characters. So
Yeah.
I mean, I think both of those are thumbs up.
Yeah.
for what they are.
Same.
Yeah, agreed.
They're
I'm
both
excited for
really
both of them.
short.
Yeah.
I'm more excited for the Tomb Raider one. Just because
much
I like that
more excited. Yeah.
that property a lot more.
I don't know if Brett watched this. I forgot to watch it, and then we started, so I didn't get to watch it right here.
Ran out of time.
There was a new True Detective Night Country trailer.
Yes.
Did you watch it?
Uh-huh.
Did it look good?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Look,
So when you said
I
I was like, oh, I don't know.
I don't need the trailer. I'm gonna watch it anyway.
burying the lead there a little bit. Yeah, no, I think that. Look, if HBO knows how to do anything, it's market.
Yeah.
So take that with a grain of salt, maybe. But I think I love the vibe. I love the twist on the True Detective and I think the cast chemistry is looking good based on the trailers.
Mhm.
So fingers crossed. That's coming in January, I think.
I think so.
Yeah.
Looks really cool.
Yeah.
And then the last trailer, I think just released today, is a Christmas movie. Happy holidays, everybody. Merry
Already.
Christmas. Silent Night.
Oh yeah.
John Woo movie starring Joel Kinnaman, and this goes into the genre of avenging father.
Yes.
Just massive body count, going crazy, R-rated, violence, guns, go crazy. Except there's no dialogue in the movie.
Yeah, that's an interesting.
Which makes it more interesting to me.
Yeah, it's an interesting choice. I'll say that the trailer didn't wow me, but the fact that A, there's no dialogue, and B, it's John Woo, those two things will still get me to the theater, I think.
Yeah.
See this. So.
Oh, and also Kinnaman is awesome as a leading man. Like I'm pretty excited about it.
I'm just really curious where the dove shot is gonna be.
Yeah, right.
Maybe doves at the church.
There's
the funeral for the kid.
Like a manger.
Maybe?
Oh, yeah. I was gonna say like a manger nativity scene type thing.
Or just out and about. They just be chilling
Them doves
around where the bad guys are, so they can.
We got a question from a first time chat in the
Luke, vote no on what? Your sticker.
your laptop.
Vote no
It's
to Superhuman Registration. It's from Civil War, the Marvel comic.
Nice Marvel cut there.
not politics.
Yeah, it's not real politics. Vote no to Superhuman Registration. We are against superheroes having to reveal their secret identities.
At least you are.
Okay, we're gonna do this? We're gonna do this?
Let's go!
I'm just gonna let you guys fight, but let me move this water first so it doesn't get on my laptop.
Well, let's move
I need to use that
along.
as a prop.
And we can start talking about The Creator. We went and saw this movie this weekend.
Yeah.
This is the new science fiction film from Gareth Edwards. Director of Rogue One is kind of what he's best known for.
Godzilla?
And Godzilla. That'd be my, personal favorite out of his repertoire up until this film, which we'll talk about.
What else has he done?
I was
He's
just getting ready
done
to look at that.
some smaller stuff.
Gareth Edwards.
Monsters is
That was kind of his breakout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
really that's it actually.
Yep.
That's
Wow.
Not much. But yeah, he
off
jumped
to a good start.
He jumped from
2/3 of Rogue One.
from
Half of Rogue One.
an indie to a Godzilla film to a Star Wars, and then now he's doing his own
original
stuff.
He was
so.
in visual effects before he was a director.
Oh yeah. He didn't just walk into Hollywood one day and be like, "I've got a movie."
take my movie, give me your money.
Give me the money. Give it to me. Excuse me that accent, whatever that was.
You just made me think of the bacon, egg, and cheese clip that I sent you guys.
The bacon, egg, and cheese.
I can't express to you how excited I was when that clip popped up on my Instagram. I watched it like 30 times. Dana's like, she walked around the corner, she's like, "What are you watching?" And I was like, "You have to see this." I could not stop laughing at it. Sorry.
I love those
Not
moments.
relevant to the creator at
You're
all.
good. You're good. Let's go down the line here and give kind of our initial impressions. Luke, let's start with you. What do you think about?
Start with Tyler.
Oh.
Tyler, what do you think about the creator?
I'll just give you my written down impressions because I usually do better with those. I wrote, while not completely original in its ideas, the creator is a welcome original sci-fi film that largely hits the mark. I think that's pretty much how I feel about it.
Yeah.
Like, there's some things in this movie you've seen before.
Oh,
for
absolutely.
Sure. Like, it is an original film, but there's some things in here, some visual things, some story things that aren't completely original. I mean, nothing really is anymore.
What is, right?
But it hit the mark for me. I liked it a lot. We were kind of talking afterwards, like, this is a pick it up and put it on my shelf the day it comes out movie.
Yeah, yeah. We even went to, like, the late showing,
Yeah.
and while we were both, like, tired...
I was asleep before your guys' movie was over.
We both were, like, at the end, we were both like, that was worth staying up late for.
Yeah. I did fall asleep, I think, for, like, 3 seconds.
Just did that little
'Cause I
head
was
nod,
like,
oh.
But yeah, I mean, it was way past my bedtime.
Yeah,
I was hurting.
You are an early to bedder usually, and I'm the night owl of the group. Although Luke's kind of an insomniac as well.
I was up till 3 a.m.
Good lord.
Friday night, Saturday morning.
Brah.
Which is why I was asleep when you guys were watching. I had to build a ship in Starfield. Had to do it.
It'd be like that sometimes.
It'd be.
I got carried away. Couldn't get the compartments lined up right, but
You got it figured out, though?
no, it's gone now anyways. So.
Luke, will you give us your impressions?
I'll just read my letterbox.
Okay.
I had to log in, which is why I had.
Oh.
Incredible. Had an absolute blast watching this. Big win for original sci-fis. Really enjoyed John David Washington and the young girl who played Alfie. Incredible VFX and Hans Zimmer's score. Fantastic.
Yeah, Hans Zimmer's name came up at the end, and we're like, oh, he can still do, like, original stuff.
Yeah.
What do you know?
That's
I feel
actually
like
in my pros.
every year he has, every year and a half, I guess, I don't know. He's like, oh, that was pretty good, but felt familiar, and then like, brand new sound. It's like, why don't you do that for both, man? But yeah, his name popped up, and I was like, oh, wow. That's why it's good.
Some producer for that one that just sounds like Hans Zimmer, like every year. There's just some producer that's like, we just want the Hans Zimmer feel. It's like he's like, okay, like cut the check.
Yeah, and I wrote like I even wrote in regards to Hans Zimmer, or in regard to Hans Zimmer, I was like, maybe not a one-trick pony. Like, it's nice to be reminded.
I mean, you always got to remember, he started the whole craze with Inception of the wows. He did Interstellar, which is super original.
Which my car puts the Interstellar cover art up when I listen to this soundtrack, and it drives me insane. Because it'll be like, the creator, this song. And then it's got the Interstellar art, and I'm like, why?
He
Just
also
don't put anything.
did Dune.
Yeah.
Which is like... Dude, the fact that the same dude did Interstellar and Dune is so awesome. Because they're so different.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I love it.
My kind of general impressions are that it's just a really refreshing to see a fairly large budget sci-fi original movie. It absolutely continues the theme of societal and class warfare. That's fairly common in sci-fi. Tyler's talking about, like, there's not a lot of things that are new, but they're kind of repackaged in a way that feels fresh, and I appreciate that. I think the chemistry between some of the characters is really, really good, like you talked about with Alfie and Joshua, John David Washington. I think John David Washington carries this movie. Like, Alfie is fantastic, don't get me wrong, but like John David Washington
breakout performance.
John David Washington has to carry that, like, carry us.
He has to carry the emotional backpack.
Yeah, and I think he does a fantastic job.
Yep.
It's one that I think is probably a little more approachable to the average audience. Something like Blade Runner, for as as much love as it gets, it's super heady sci-fi.
It's also just confusing because there's 5 versions of the movie.
Right.
It's like somebody will come up to you and be like, "I watched Blade Runner. I thought it was stupid." It's like, which one did you watch? Blade Runner is the one on Netflix. Well, actually, you need to watch Blade Runner: The Final Cut. It's a totally different movie. It's so annoying to have to say that.
It is, unfortunately.
How many different? It's just like, oh, bummer. I love that movie. Just don't even explain it because you know they don't care.
Yeah. So I had a lot of fun with it. I think it's really enjoyable, and it does a lot with a budget that's not overstuffed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, $80 million, pretty respectable for a movie that looks this good.
Yeah.
Like one of my first pros. This movie looks fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
From the design of the robots to everything in between, the Nomad, all of it. It just looks so good. Even the costuming, like we were talking about after, I would love to see the concept art for this movie and like where things started to what the finished product is. Like the robots, specifically the way they talk and they have like a jaw and everything. Like it was just so cool to see that. And like I kind of talked about too things not being wholly original, but you see a lot of video game influence in this movie too. The guns and like boost pack things, which they're not boost packs, but they look like them from Titanfall.
Mm-hmm.
The helmets look like they're from Titanfall. It was just so cool to see all that.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the robots have like little lines like from Cyberpunk. Like it's just there's video game influence all over this. You could tell Gareth Edwards just pulled from everything he likes to make the aesthetic of this film, and I think it just works so incredibly well.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that I think Edwards does so well, and he understands, and I see this in each of his big budget films, you know, just in reference, I guess, like he understands scale in a way, and how to shoot scale in a way that a lot of directors and or DPs don't. He makes you feel like something is huge. Even in the wide shots, right? Like he knows how to frame a wide shot so that it just, this monolithic building feels like it's there, it belongs there, and it feels massive.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, like he'll get low and he'll be shooting in the city, and you'll still feel the scale of those elements around you, whether that's a mountain in the distance. Oh my gosh, there's a shot with like just a mountain in the background. I'm like, why is that so beautiful? I don't know, but it is.
I wonder if it was real.
They did. We were talking like a little bit. They did have like a Nepal film unit, so it could have been.
Yeah.
There's a lot of pretty mountains in Nepal.
Absolutely.
I will say, though, most of the time it is very. See, I guess that's if you're in Kathmandu. So I can say this. We couldn't see the mountains.
Oh, is it like smoggy?
Smog.
Yeah. Unfortunate.
There's just so much in the air.
Sad
and
day.
then it rained on the last day, and we could finally see them.
Something you can see in this movie is like everything, even in the dark scenes.
Yeah.
This film, this is just the nerdiest shit I love to talk about. This film was shot on a $4,000 camera, the Sony FX3.
Did you look up the price
I
after
did,
we talked about
did.
it? Okay.
And like, my God, it's gorgeous.
And you ordered
And I
it?
immediately was like, I don't have the money, but I'm pre-ordering it anyway. I'm buying it anyways.
Why is there a $4,000
I watched
transaction?
The Creator this weekend. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. It's fine. And I think that just goes to show, like, knowing. Oh, you know, first off, Gareth Edwards, he understands things. Second off, the DP is Greg Fraser, so like, he knows. Like, come on, best.
Gareth Edwards, Greg Fraser, and Hans Zimmer.
What could go wrong?
How is this
Nothing.
movie?
Nothing
how is
went
this
wrong.
movie ever like have anyone bet against it?
Right.
So yeah, there's like he specifically wanted a camera that could shoot basically in moonlight, and Sony's are like super well known for their low light capabilities. So that's why he went with the.
So it's like, we're gonna get
Sony.
real crazy here. This camera's gonna cost $4,000. The producers were probably like, "Is he for real?" Like
20th Century was like, okay,
yeah,
that's fine.
Wait, what?
No, we don't need to rent it. We'll buy it. That's fine.
You can keep it when
We'll
we're
just
done
buy
too
it.
if you want.
But also, like in the chat, Baroque's talking about the sound design in this movie. being
Oh,
great.
yeah.
From guns to the robot to the nomad scanner. Like,
Dude,
absolutely.
just the barcode. I loved that the weapon was a barcode until it actually shot. But like, just like you just hear it and just be like, I kind of wanted to shoot, even though that'd be really bad right now. But yeah, and it's also like if you don't have, this is my opinion, you're making a sci-fi movie and your sound design isn't up to par.
This is very true. Yeah.
It will ruin the movie.
It could, yeah, absolutely.
And not even like just unbalanced. That will ruin any movie. Just like uncreative.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if it sounds like just a normal old AK-47, it's gonna take you out of it a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Yep. Agreed. Solid sound design, everything from those cool things to like the AI voices.
Mm-hmm.
Tyler, you mentioned a little bit. I kind of jumped over this, but like the CGI looks great.
Yeah.
Um,
oh yeah.
Everything from like the little intricacies of how the AI talk
Mm-hmm.
and their movements. It looks so good for what the price tag is, right?
Yeah.
And just even like the normal robots' heads.
Yeah.
They just look flawless, and there might be some practical effect there too,
Mm-hmm.
but like it never looks bad.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not a shot in this movie where you're like, "Ee." Right? Like where every movie we talk about anymore, I feel like we're always like, well, there is that one shot where we are kind of like,
I
But
feel
like
like
in
I can
this-
think of the one spot where it could have, which is in the third act, and it still did look great.
Mm.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was really impressed, and yeah, $80 million, man.
I did want to say her name, Madeline Una Voiles,
Mhm.
is the girl who plays Alfie. This is her first movie.
Yeah, I love seeing that, like, and introducing.
And I was like, wow.
Solid.
Absolutely
Solid
incredible.
choice.
The other thing, Luke mentioned sound design can make or break a movie. Child actors can do that too. And
Yeah.
getting a good one like Madeline was very, very well done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Loved her performance.
Yeah, she was fantastic.
Yep.
I learned a kind of a cool thing today just on Twitter. I think it was an interview with Perry Nemiroff. And I think it was I don't remember who was talking, which is unfortunate, but he was talking how they got what like some of the tricks they used to get some of the shots that may have been like maybe a bigger budget movie should use.
Mm.
And it was talking about a car flip in the movie, and they're like, how did you do this? And it was like, well, in like a big budget movie, they would flip the car, and then they'd rig everybody and flip them, and it's like all we did was we did it like in Star Trek, the original series, where you rotate the camera hard, and everybody just goes, ugh,
And it looked great.
and it looked great, car flip. I love that. And it's just like a lot of big budget movie making has forgotten simplicity.
Mm-hmm. Well, because they
Like,
think
they've been
of
doing stuff for
what makes
years.
it easy
Yeah.
rather
Mhm.
than what just works,
Mhm.
right? And it's
just even unplanned. It's
Right.
like, well,
We have the
just
money,
do a
let's just
CGI
do it.
double and
Yeah.
make it look
we have the
fine.
money, let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas like when you have a tighter budget, you're forced to get creative.
Yeah. And then it's ballooned to $250 million, and everybody's going, why does this look bad?
Yeah. Yep.
Meanwhile, $80 million.
Looks great.
Looking great.
Yeah, other pro too, not just Madeline, but the whole cast I think is really good in this.
Mhm.
Like I didn't realize that was Allison Janney.
Yeah.
Oh,
Didn't
yeah.
occur to me until tonight when I looked at the IMDb page and I was like, huh,
Mm-hmm.
no clue. So great job. I mean, nobody in this is bad.
Yeah.
Um,
So one thing that I really liked,
okay.
and I guess I don't know if I fooled myself, or maybe it's just like my own little, I don't know, prejudice going in. I was not expecting humans to be the bad guy in this movie.
Yeah.
Like the
No, I
way
would
I felt
agree.
like it was advertised was like AI nuked LA and we're in a war. It's like, oh, so it's like if I don't know,
It's like Terminator, right?
Yeah, it's like AI bad. They became self-aware, and it's no. AI became aware, and they're just like, we just kind of want to live.
Yeah.
There's robots in here that become monks.
Yeah.
Or they're like teaching religion, their own little religion.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, wow.
Yeah.
Like, they've really fooled me on that.
There's like
just going in like, freaking Americans are bad in this.
Like, there's like a moment in the movie where you kind of think to yourself, I don't know who I'm supposed to root for.
Yeah.
And like,
I think that's one of the best parts about it, because you have...
There's like a shift. Like, you start out here and you end here, but in the middle, you're like, I don't actually know who I'm supposed to be rooting for in this.
Like, that's like Joshua's entire journey.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like...
Yeah, you really do feel...
Because of like what his family, with his wife... It's like, what do I do?
Yeah, you really feel Joshua's journey in this, I think. And again, it goes back to John David Washington and how well he portrays that. One of my favorite little things in this movie, though, is just how much, over time, John David Washington has started to sound like Denzel.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there's moments where he says something, and I'm like, wait, hold on.
Or he
Denzel's not in this,
He
right?
has like an expression.
Yeah, and you're
where
like, oh, it's him.
oh, wow, yeah, like I see it.
It's really cool.
I wouldn't hate if Denzel and John did something like they're doing with Monarch with the Russells.
I would love that.
Yeah.
Where they like play a generational thing.
Mm-hmm.
I would
Same
love
character,
that.
or heck, you can just play father and son. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I would just love for them to get to do something together
Yeah.
before Denzel hangs him up, if he ever does.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think this movie does a good job of that, where you're like,
You're really conflicted.
you're like, man, I don't know,
Yeah.
right? And there's actually, I don't know if there's like, well, there's bad people on both sides, right? But it's not black and white. Like, what might be viewed as bad maybe isn't actually bad. Like, it's I don't know. It does such a good job of walking the line the whole movie. It's just, I was super impressed with that.
Yep. Yeah, I think it's interesting just kind of riffing off those comments you guys were making. Over in the chat, Baroque says, swap AI for communists, and this movie is about the Vietnam War. Swap it for terrorists, and it's about the war on terror in Afghanistan, right? Like, there's this ideal of imperialism and America going in maybe where they're not, maybe shouldn't have jurisdiction, but like, are you gonna stop them?
But we justify it.
Are you gonna stop them?
Evil
Like,
robot there.
Right.
I want this poster.
The other thing Broke said in the chat, which I absolutely agree with, and this is just the power of Madeline. How do you say that? Madeline Voiles, Alfie. When she said, "Am I going to heaven?"
Yeah,
he was like, "I just about lost it." It's like,
there's a moment in this movie where I cried a couple times in it, but there was one where I cried out of happiness because it was almost like a relief that something happened. I was just like, oh my goodness, and some tears came down.
Yeah.
Whereas like, I feel like most of the time it's like, that's sad.
Yep.
No, it's just like, oh, thank goodness.
Mm-hmm.
And I hadn't gotten that emotion from a movie.
Always good to feel something.
I love crying during movies.
Agreed. Heavy agree.
Especially happy crying during a movie. That's good stuff.
It was a happy, sad moment, I guess.
Yeah.
Which is probably my favorite
kind of
fake
cry.
genre of film.
Happy, sad?
My favorite movies,
It's
happy,
a
sad.
happy sad. Tyler, you kind of not teased, but you kind of briefly mentioned this earlier where you talked about them not over-explaining a few things. And I think you're talking about the writing, but just the world building in general in this movie, I think is really well done.
Yep.
They do a lot through, I'm going to use the word texture.
Atmosphere.
Like atmosphere, just the vibe. It's not like...
just the vibe.
Just the vibe.
I'm feeling the vibes, man.
It's not like they pull up to a city and it's like, okay, here is your 2-sentence explanation of where the city came from and why it's important.
Well, and
it's like they're there, they meet a person, they get discovered, they go to the next place, right?
Yeah, and there's ads on boards, there's things like that. But what I appreciated so much is generally a movie like this would have a big text opening.
Oh.
This is what happened. We get a text opening, but it's not explaining what happened to the world. It's you're going to learn what happened to this world just through watching this movie.
It's Nirmata into the news thing.
Yeah.
With the news thing even itself, which is a pretty common use trope, I thought was pretty cool.
It's super
like,
interesting.
It's it's like normal, and all of a sudden it's just like boom, nuke drop. You're just like,
And they do that. I'm insinuating. I may be insinuating some spoilers here. So if you haven't seen it and you want to go completely spoil free, like just for 15 seconds, just plug your ears. Like that's used, but then it's also flipped, right? Like they go ahead and say, well, actually, you heard one side of the story.
Yeah.
And it might not be the truth. And so it's used in a way that we kind of expect it to be used, but then they do a good job of
giving you the other side.
Saying like, okay, well, it's not just information. We're setting up a worldview, and then we're gonna pivot and offer you another worldview later on in the film.
But to go back to what you were saying, what I would call this kind of world building, probably organic world building. It feels very natural throughout the movie. It doesn't feel like let's make this here and this here and this here so that we definitely need them to pull this. They don't need you to pull any of it.
Yeah, you
get to you can take from this what you want from a world building perspective, and I think that's really cool.
Yep.
I got home and I went to Reddit, typed in the creator because I was like, man, I hope people are discussing this. Like, I want to hear what people like, what maybe I didn't catch in terms of the world building.
Yeah.
And it was just there wasn't much discussion because not a lot of people went and saw it.
Yeah.
It's also a sci-fi movie, which means a lot of people aren't gonna get it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's
I
also
feel like every sci-fi
an original
movie
film, so there's not like here are all the Easter eggs you
there's
missed
not like
from
a
the
definitive
comics.
book. Yeah, it's great.
But like
It's
even
I love it, right?
Yeah, it's a huge win.
I feel like every sci-fi movie, or even original sci-fi movie, I guess, that comes out, because Dune didn't have this problem, it's based off a book.
Yeah, an old book.
Nobody
too.
really saw that either. Everything's based off of Dune now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like Interstellar came out, and critics and people are like, I don't know about this.
Mm-hmm.
And then discussion is like nothing to do with what the movie is about. It's like it's about the bookcase, and it's like, okay, missed the point.
Yeah.
And then like Ad Astra comes out, great,
Dude,
beautiful movie,
so good.
and people are like, I don't know, it's kind of boring. It's like it's about a son reconnecting with his father. Why aren't we talking about that? And I don't know.
Because it's not spaceships and laser swords.
Yeah,
Like,
there's a baboon though in space. That was crazy.
That was freaking crazy. And also that freaking moon chase. Oh.
I love that movie.
we should watch that again.
I watch it every once in a while, just to see Neptune. Like they show up to Neptune, and I'm just like, that's pretty.
What was the budget on Ad Astra?
It's not huge. Now that we're going down the...
Yeah, sorry, we can get back to the creator.
But I'm hoping the
80
creator...
million!
80 mil!
80 mil!
That's the sweet spot.
I'm hoping the creator people... It will be able to grab more people and be like, hey, this is almost as close as you can get to a Star Wars movie with it not being Star Wars. And then seeing interesting themes discussed in a movie.
Sci-fi
and talking
also
about that
tends to have legs in a different way than a lot of big blockbusters. They
don't have a cult following.
and not like it will do well at the box office over the next month. More like in the next 10 years, like we'll just be talking about it more for some reason.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like it'll creep up. It'll be on Black Friday sales somewhere. It will get on a streamer, and all of a sudden a bunch of people will watch it, and then the discourse will kind of bubble up organically.
Yep.
And in that sense, it will live on past a pretty poor opening weekend, right? Like,
it's also really frustrating to me that people constantly complain that every movie is a superhero movie, and then an original movie comes out,
And nobody
And then
sees
not
that.
and
too.
nobody
Yeah.
goes to see it.
Yeah.
It's like, what do you want? Stop complaining if you're not going to go see the movies.
yeah. Vote with your wallet. Vote with your wallet.
And they are voting with their wallet, and that's why there is so many superhero movies.
Did you guys have any cons?
I have, hold on, parlay update.
Oh.
Leg 2 of my 3-leg parlay has officially now hit, with Kenneth Walker scoring a touchdown.
He's gonna get it.
Let's go.
So I do have one con. I won't call it's not really a con, it's more a nitpick, and I think it's just because I have questions about how it works. But Nomad, it seems like it's kind of like in the same area as people, but then it's in space, and then it's in the same area again, and it just like very rapidly is moving just to where they need it to be for that moment in the movie. And I like, again, it's a nitpick because I don't really care.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, I'd love to know how that works.
Yeah.
So I can just be like,
It's a low orbit.
Yeah, like it just
Kind of
kind
satellite
of does
thing
what it
that
does.
just goes up and down.
And that's kind of how I justify it to myself because again, I don't really care that much.
Right.
But I would love to hear kind of
If there's a thought behind that,
Yeah.
other than
we just needed it.
We
here.
needed it in the
Yeah.
shot, right?
Yeah,
Like
because I go to it and it's in space, and
Yeah.
you're like, oh, this thing's been like mountain high
mm-hmm.
through some of this.
Yeah.
You know, obviously higher, but it's, I don't know. I'd love to know how it functions.
Yeah.
But it is like one of the coolest looking things in the whole movie.
Yeah.
Looks awesome.
It's up there.
It is.
It's like a low orbit stratosphere.
And then
It's high enough to have no sound in space.
yeah.
It probably hangs out in space when it's not on a mission, is what Baroque says. I like that.
And then it goes.
Yeah. I love that theory. I'm down with
It
that.
just kind of goes, yeah.
Again, not a con, more, and I wrote nitpick, but I don't even really think it's a nitpick as much as it's just a question.
Yeah. Curious how
Maybe
it
in
works.
I want that poster.
Maybe
so
in a
bad.
deleted scene, there'll be a janitor up there,
Yeah.
like wiping the floor, and be like, "Man, this thing goes around fast," and it cuts back down to everybody else.
I'm game for that.
Kind of just the question I had was more so in the beginning. I felt Joshua's allegiance, or just like what he was doing, was really confusing because it was like, I'm in love, but I'm a spy, but I'm not, but I am. And it's just like, this is changing really fast in these 5 minutes. I feel like it could have even just added a little time there and kind of slowed that down
Yeah.
until the opening kind of climaxes.
Mm.
It was like a minute. He's like, I love you. What are you doing here? I love you. What are you doing here? And it's like, what? So, how many sides is he on? He's like a quadruple agent or something.
What should I take from this?
And it was like just right off the bat, it was really confusing. It makes sense later,
Yeah.
but it was, I guess it was just overwhelming.
It's a lot to take. Yeah.
Yeah, that maybe how I would summarize that, and I could throw this in as a con, I suppose, is maybe just the first act's pacing.
Mm-hmm.
There is a little bit of like kind of whiplash on where we're at, and based on what Joshua's character is doing and how he's feeling, and there's a lot of mystery that they save up until the third act.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think the second act they do a really good job of drip feeding you those things, whether that's through environmental storytelling or the script.
Yeah, and speaking of environmental storytelling, because Baroque asked, did you notice the cartoon Alfie was watching? Again, another one of those moments where the organic world building works really, really well. Alfie's watching a cartoon of the AI attacking the Nomad.
Yeah.
And it's an anime. It's really cool. It's something like, hey, this is what the AI want to do.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to show it to you as a cartoon on a screen for a kid.
Yeah.
That's it. We'll explain it to you later.
There's their motivation.
But we're going to give it to you now.
Yeah.
We're going to show you now, but we're not going to tell you till later.
Right.
And again, it's one of those things. You can take from that what you will, but if you miss it, it's okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they put it there with it's intentional, but you don't feel like you miss anything if you don't notice
And
it.
without context,
You're just like, what?
You're just thinking, oh, okay, yeah, this is a hostile force, right?
Yeah.
And then you get added layers of context as the film goes on, and you're like, okay, well, yeah, maybe that's a goal, but what's the motivation behind it?
Right.
And learn that it is more complicated
Yeah.
than that. So I just was flipping through photos on IMDb, and I just love the little bomb
Bomb
droids.
Oh, the running.
Yes!
Like, they have, like, the emotional send-off. It's like, it's been an honor to serve you. Like, oh,
It's just
man.
programming.
Yeah, that stuff's rough, too. like the she's not real scenes and it's just programming scenes. You're just like, oof, man, that is hard.
Yeah. Agreed.
So something that, unless I don't know if you
Keep on going, my man.
this isn't a con. This is a positive, but it also might be a spoiler. Not really. I'm not gonna like say names or anything.
Okay.
But it has a lot of something. It's one of the best things about Rogue One, and this is in it too, and the fact of how it feels like a war movie. Everybody's on the table to die, and you don't know when.
Yeah.
Like heroes, villains, they could go at any moment.
Yeah.
And I just done so well. Like somebody you think is going to be a crucial villain just gets offed because you know what? They're in a fight.
Yeah.
It's war, and people die in war. Get shot.
Yep.
Yeah, I think they set that standard pretty quick too.
Yeah.
Which I think is cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Agreed.
I think one of the best things that Gareth Edwards does in his filmmaking is the realistic grittiness. Mm-hmm. And I'm not just talking about dirt and blood. It's more stakes.
Consequence. Yeah.
Yeah, stakes is a good way to put it.
We're walking into a hostile environment. Not everybody's going to make it out.
Yeah.
And not everybody does.
I was a little nervous for that dog.
Oh, dude.
Yeah. I was like, he is going to shoot that dog in the face. And
yeah.
If he did that, this theater is going to turn.
Well, that's when I don't know if I said it out loud or if I was thinking it to myself, but I was like, he's really not going to do this, is he? Like, when the dog's standing there, I'm like, oh,
but then,
man.
Freaking Joshua just walks off, and you're like, oh, my God. No. If I hear a gunshot in the background, I'm going to lose it. But even, when...
Well, there's two dogs that are in danger, because then there's the grenade dog.
Yeah. That's the one I was talking about.
Dude, animals in this movie got a high body count. That's all I'm saying.
Yes.
Yeah. You're not wrong.
No, the... shoot, what was I going to say? It's like the big Vietnam War scene where the tanks show up.
Yeah.
Oh, so awesome. But then that entire sequence was so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
I was
yeah
for all those people.
Yep.
It's so good. I really hope people will go see it. Go support an original sci-fi movie.
I can tell you, all of us, before we give our ratings, I will tell you, all of us will say, you should go watch this film.
Yep.
Because even if you're not into sci-fi, even if you're not into war movies, unless you're a 10-year-old child, go watch Bluey or whatever. But if you're not that, there's something you can take from this film, and I think it would go a long way in, communicating to studios that, hey, there is a want for this level of this kind of storytelling at this budget, and it can work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Agreed.
So, what's your guys' rankings?
I give it a booyah.
I'm giving it a strong fanboy worthy.
I'm going to give it a booyah as well. Yeah, I don't know. We've talked about it so much. I don't know if I really feel like I need to defend it, but
I don't ever have to defend it.
Defend your opinion now. No.
And it's interesting if you follow my letterbox. I gave it a 4-star. I think I was underneath. Luke, you gave it a 4.5.
Yeah, 4.5.
I'm not sure where you would have.
I didn't rate it yet. I was
5.
waiting to discuss it tonight.
But I think
there's not a 4.25.
Yeah.
But because I feel like 4 is too low, but 4.5 is too high. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I want to round up. That's what I do.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I round down and then write in the thing.
My stars on the letterbox have nothing to do with the ratings I give, because it's an idea of quality. Because I wouldn't say this is a 4.5 star quality movie. That's a 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't say that's okay. It might be an 8, but it's out of just enjoyment.
Sure.
This is how strongly I enjoyed this movie.
Yeah.
And I can't give a 5-star to everything.
Yeah.
Right.
So sometimes I just tone it down a little bit, and it's you're gonna really like this.
Yeah. I think, I say fanboy worthy just because there are people who are very averse to sci-fi, as a genre.
Yeah.
And so from a recommendation standpoint, I think like you like sci-fi, you're gonna love this.
You will, absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
think it has all the makings of what makes sci-fi so great.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. All right. That's gonna wrap up our review of The Creator.
Last thing, I know we said we're happy. No, we talked about this. I know we said we're happy it's original, but Gareth Edwards for Titanfall, anything. Okay,
Titanfall
moving on.
film.
Yes.
Yes.
Moving on.
I raise you Titanfall film and make it Titanfall anime. Because it will work so much better. All these video games should just be adapted into animes.
That is kind of your hot take, isn't it?
Just everything should be adapted into an anime. Because you can do anything in anime. Anything.
I've got to check my prediction here.
Saga anime.
Because we talked about this.
Yeah.
Boom, right there. My bonus one. Avatar 4 and 5, one of my predictions would be greenlit this year. My follow-up prediction on that was they would be, one or both of them would be directed by Gareth Edwards or Peter Jackson. I think he would do a fantastic Avatar film. The one challenge being that I'm not sure he's used to shooting in that much
water? No.
CGI. Right, like there's so much CGI there.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I honestly don't know if what's his name? Average above height Jim Cameron.
Yeah, James Cameron.
I think he says he's gonna let other people do it.
I don't know if he will either.
It's kind of like his baby.
Yeah. He'd be way too hands-on, I think, for somebody like Gareth Edwards to feel comfortable directing it.
Then give Gareth Edwards Alita Part 2.
Just give me Alita Part 2.
Didn't they say it was in the works?
Yeah.
A producer was like, yeah, it's happening.
We're working on it. Dude, I might watch Alita tonight. Holy cow. That movie freaking rocks. Oh my gosh. I trashed that movie so hard. Going in, I saw the trailer, I was like, man, look at her big CGI eyes. This movie looks dumb. I think that movie might have been like in my top 5 of that year. I loved it so much. Golly. Great film.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So if we were giving
Positive
Gareth
rant.
Edwards IPs, Titanfall for sure.
Yeah.
Avatar.
I think
do I have to give him one?
I
don't
think
have
you'd make a solid Halo Season 2.
Mm.
It would be a definite improvement.
Almost anything.
Almost anything would be an improvement.
Dude, I can just throw it in randomly.
Yeah, you don't have to do it right this
Yeah,
second.
it's fine. We have
Fix
some
it in
news
post.
stories for this week. I think like SAG strike still happening. We kind of talked about the writer's strike and it being resolved.
Did you read the contract?
I didn't read the super details. I listened to a few things that kind of went over the high level stuff.
I just like skimmed through it because it's long.
Yeah.
And there's some really cool things in there. It's just like I just got like to the AI section. I was like, that sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
They agreed to it, so it must be good.
Right.
But man, I'm so happy that they were able to agree on something. And I hope it's good enough that in 3 years, when it eventually comes back to negotiations, just like, this is good, let's keep going. I don't like it when movies aren't being made, because that means movies aren't being released, and that means I don't have movies to watch.
Well, and now
not new ones anyway.
Now that they've made the deal with WGA, negotiations with SAG. Apparently, they had a full day of negotiations today. They're expected to continue that later in the week. Probably have to kind of go back and take a day or two to
read the entire
go
thing.
through. Okay, how are we kind of preparing to approach the what's been presented and what's been offered and how we're going to counter offer. So fingers crossed, because I think now that the writer's strike is over, I think studios should be like, all right, we got to get back to work.
Yeah. Well, I mean, kind of just on that, the writer's strike has been over for a week, and then today James Gunn just responded to his own Instagram post. Somebody's like, when's Peacemaker Season 2? He commented back, writing it right now.
Yeah.
Just glad to be getting those comments again. It's like, yes, they're working. Woohoo!
He did a
In
really
other
good
news,
job.
Peacemaker Season 2 is currently being written.
He did a really good job of being tight-lipped through all that.
Dude, it's got to be so awkward to be like a producer, a director, a writer. Just have all the jobs.
So you just can't say anything about.
Yeah, because I imagine he was like, "Yeah, we want a writer's deal," but like, on the other side of that too. Where
He's also definitely in the directors
just like
guild.
doesn't even know what to say. Like,
Yeah.
like I'm just gonna let them work it out. Hopefully they get a good deal, and then I'll get back to writing.
Yep.
A lot of hats.
Yep. We talk about people not going to see the creator earlier. Paw Patrol won the weekend box office at $23 million.
Makes sense.
So, huge win for the family demographic.
I guess so. Yeah.
Now take your family to see the creator.
Yeah.
This is an allegory for the Vietnam War, Steve. What's the Vietnam War, Mom? You'll learn about it in 10 years in school. But they won't tell you the truth.
No, they won't.
Just be like, we were heroes.
Yeah. So, look, that's great. I think anytime the kids' movies don't come out nearly as often as movies for adults, so it's always good to see them. Good to see them do well. That said, this isn't like another big IP franchise, so not totally surprised that it ended up winning the weekend.
Are you taking your kid to see it still?
I hope to. I think it'd be fun.
Yeah, I've got to find time. I'm not sure when it's going to happen, but I want to as well.
She likes Paw Patrol, and I think it'd be cool to go to a movie for the first time.
It is. It's an emotional experience.
Yeah. Well, she's only 2.
When they're
Cry
halfway-
your eyes out.
When they're halfway
Yeah.
through the movie and they're going, and you're like, man, I spent $15, $20 on this ticket.
She's only 2, but she's very good at talking. So she kind of understands.
Oh,
things.
you're gonna have that kid who's talks through the whole movie.
Probably not, because there will be people around her.
Tell Claire to go.
Have you ever heard her talk?
No, that's true. She
Yeah,
doesn't
I was
talk
gonna
around
say,
other
she doesn't
people.
talk around
That's an
people.
excellent point.
Claire? I've heard her talk.
No.
Bryn.
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 I've heard her talk.
You've heard her talk. Very little, but
He's like, hi.
yeah, she doesn't talk around
She's
people.
shy.
And I was like, don't talk to me.
That's okay.
So you were just like,
She hasn't talked to me. No. She's like, oh, jeez.
actually, last time she saw you was like probably the most open to you she's been.
Yeah,
Like,
I didn't
climbed
like,
right up next to you and sat down.
didn't like that.
I was like, what the heck?
There was too many babies at the gender reveal party
Mm.
for my brother and his wife, and I was getting a little anxious.
So my next news story is that the PlayStation Portal is now up for pre-order, available for pre-order. This is
The
their
PSP is back.
their handheld, local Wi-Fi access only to your PlayStation device.
Get you a backbone. It's $100. Does
There-
the same thing.
Yeah, right.
There's only one PSP, and you put in a disc cartridge in the back, and it goes. Then that finally turns on. Dude, the PSP was so awesome. You just play Medal of Honor on that thing.
I wanted
Oh
one
my
really
gosh.
bad. I never had one.
I think I still have mine. You can borrow it.
That's okay.
It's like
Will it even
Down
turn
in the
on?
drawer. it's probably got
Thing hasn't been
corroded
charged in years.
batteries and.
Oh boy.
The last news story I have is Blumhouse has said that the Spawn reboot movie is set for 2025. So
2030.
so good to know that's still happening, I suppose. I know Jamie Foxx was attached to it. I'm not sure if that will continue. And I think that's why I'm kind of interested in this movie, is just to see kind of how this thing proceeds. Also, McFarlane's a weird cat, so anything he's involved with is always kind of fun to
Never know.
see what's happening.
Right.
You should do an anime.
Very true. Very true.
They had one.
Oh, there was?
Mhm.
Anime or animated?
Animated, not animated.
Go full
though.
anime.
I don't know
Luke,
if
did you have
McFarlane
any
would
news
allow
this
it.
week?
I just have one more story.
All right.
And that is that Jim Ryan is retiring.
That's
Yeah, it's a
right.
big
Head
one.
of PlayStation.
PlayStation head honcho himself said, "Oh, I have enough money. I'm going to go retire before this gets
He was like,
out of hand.
I
Before
lost the fight to prevent Activision from being sold. I'm going
he's
out.
just burnt out now. It's like, they got Activision, but I got Bungie.
They got my
I'm
emails.
going out right. I'm going out with that.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't. I texted you guys this. I didn't realize how much like Sony fans didn't like him
Yeah.
until after that announcement came out. And I was like, oh, I thought he
I
did a great job for
honestly-
PlayStation. He got PlayStation to the top.
Look, I honestly think it's just he's a businessman, and you're right. He did great things, but he
Yeah.
doesn't have that personality presence that like Xbox has with Phil Spencer,
Phil, yeah.
or even Major Nelson, who retired I think this last year. But like
That's Larry Herb. Isn't
yeah,
it?
Larry Herb. They just don't have that kind of personal touch, and so while the decisions Jim Ryan made definitely did get them to the top,
They were the business moves. Yeah.
he always felt more like a businessman than a gamer.
Yeah.
And I think this is a good opportunity for PlayStation to bring in someone who
Larry
can
Herb.
relate. How hilarious would that be?
Who?
Larry Herb.
I don't know that.
That's Major Nelson.
I don't know who that is.
He's more of a community guy.
He was
to
like
be fair.
Xbox's top community guy.
He's not like unofficially. He had the weirdest role. I don't know how
Yeah.
how he managed to keep that role for like 20 years.
He got
but
paid a
like,
lot of money to do it.
No, great gig.
He did some
Um,
awesome podcast appearances too. He's always interesting.
Yeah, always a
He'll just be the face of
pleasure to listen
PlayStation,
to, yeah.
and somebody else will run the business.
yeah, and that's probably what they need to figure out how to segment out like who is kind of making those business decisions, who is announcing those business decisions.
You think Phil?
and-
They'll fill it. Feels like we can buy him now, right?
We just buy them, yeah.
Nobody there to block it. No. Yeah. Lots of people don't like him.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised by
because
that.
of business stuff. But man, just some of the best games. And I know he doesn't make the games, but like Naughty Dog put out the Uncharted games
Oh,
and the
yeah.
Last of Us games when he was there. It's like,
Immense success.
man, Santa Monica, like with both the God of War games,
Mm-hmm.
Horizon games.
MLB The Show,
Yeah.
like
Available on
great
Xbox Game
baseball
Pass.
game.
No.
Well, yeah, now, but
But like some of my favorite games
yeah,
are from under his watch.
Yep.
So
yeah, he did a great job.
I'm curious what will happen in the future, because they're pushing into a big live service push,
Mm-hmm.
and I think people aren't very excited for that. People are kind of just getting tired of the words live service,
Yeah.
battle pass, battle royale. Well, maybe that was just me.
You've never been a
And-
fan.
Yeah, you never jumped on that train.
It was fun for a week, and I was like,
It'll be
I don't like
interesting to
this.
see how each of those,
I'm not good at this. I'm not gonna, I don't enjoy it.
how each PlayStation and Xbox kind of read those tea leaves and start making moves for the next, trying to predict what the next
Well,
trend is, or if it's. Do you play it? Look, Nintendo does a totally different game where they just don't care.
They just
They
do
just
what they
do
want.
their own thing.
They just make sure their controllers aren't attached to something, usually together, and that they have motion controls in them.
Some kind of motion. Yep.
That's all that matters. Here's a new Mario game.
I
Boom!
do have one additional story too
Yeah.
before we sign off. Epic Games had a bunch of layoffs.
Oh, this was bad.
Yeah, they laid off
Yeah.
870 employees, sold off Bandcamp. Kind of insane, you know, a company like Epic who has Fortnite, which prints money, was laying off that many people.
Well, they said
And they're raising the prices for V-Bucks for Fortnite too.
wasn't one of the things they're like, we didn't make good decisions, we have to fire people.
Yeah.
Or something. I also
It's the exact same thing that Zuckerberg said last year when there were all those Meta layoffs, which was like, you know, I take responsibility for this. I took a big swing on VR and Metaverse, and you know, it hasn't paid off. The what is frustrating to me, just because of the we live in a society,
Gross.
like there needs to be more accountability for leadership. If Mark Zuckerberg, if Tim Sweeney, whomever is making these decisions, it's Tim, right? Is the head of Epic. Like, okay, great. What's your salary cut?
Right.
Great. I get, like, from a business perspective, if it's not working, you may have to lay off people. Also, what are you doing to make sure that you don't get up in the future?
Right.
Or how are you paying atoning for your sins?
I have to fire these people from my yacht in Tahiti.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
It came off real bad.
Well, yeah, and like I guess there was some live reporting on it from Jason Schreier throughout the day, and like their whole like Microsoft Teams stuff got shut down during the day, so people couldn't send messages. Everybody lost access to it, and then they started alerting people. So like you have to think of the people going through that and how hard that has to be.
I think this is
rough,
interesting
man.
too. Epic Games is on its way to transforming from a game developer, engine creator, and publisher into a platform.
Look, they really
What
do.
does that even
They've
mean?
got like a someone used the word, I don't know what it was, a golden ticket. I don't know. They've got 3
golden nugget.
amazing sources of revenue, right? In terms of like their store, their engine,
Fortnite,
and their games, right? And so
game.
Yeah, they shut down everything else they make.
Like the fact that you can't transition people out in a more humane way than just laying off.
Mm-hmm.
When you have that much market power, it says a lot about either corporate greed or, I mean, no, ultimately it's corporate greed, because you're either trying to adhere to your internal owners or your external owners, stockholders. So
I really appreciate the gaming community, though, like devs and even players, how they announced this, and pretty much everybody was like, "No, this is stupid.
Mm-hmm.
You guys messed up, and you're not taking any blame for it. You're
Yep.
Well,
terrible leadership. It's greedy."
And to do it in the same breath as announcing you're increasing the currency for your current money printing game in Fortnite is kind of, that's an ugly way to present that.
Mm-hmm.
So hate it for those devs, those employees. Hopefully they land on their feet sooner rather than later.
Agreed. Okay, I'm gonna hold on. Let me switch on over to our Twitter and see if we got any fanbox questions this week. Probably not. I think we had one from last week that I didn't get to, so let me.
Oh, nice.
Let me scroll back there.
Noise.
That's your headphones aren't broken. I'm just making noises. Maybe we didn't.
Good for you, Baroque.
What did
He
Baroque?
says, I still don't know what a battle pass, season pass is, and at this point I'm too afraid to ask. Just keep playing Octopath 2.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, update on that. I got absolutely demolished in that game this weekend. It was going so well. I was doing a boss fight, and I was like, oh man, I'm rolling. I'm wrecking this dude. I'm constantly breaking his shield, blah, 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 blah. And then next thing I knew, like, my whole team died in 2 turns, and I was like, ooh.
You do be like that.
Whoa.
Sometimes it'd be like that.
The guy got angry. And when they get angry, they get more attacks, and it just killed everything. It was
dang.
It was rough.
Over on Twitter, we have a question from Ian. He says, Walmart has candy out, which means Halloween is right around the corner. What's your favorite Halloween-themed or scary movie? And why?
Yeah.
Yes, I know scary isn't everyone's cup of tea.
Me and Tyler know what the correct answer is to this. There's only one Halloween movie, baby. Halloween 3, Season of the Witch.
Have you seen this?
No.
We're watching it.
We're watching it
I know
this
we
year.
keep
You
saying
have to
that.
do
All
it.
right, we'll do it.
It is like a requirement.
It's awesome because it's not scary at all.
No.
And then it's randomly creepy as heck and super dark.
And
it is so funny.
It has a super
And
catchy tune in it too. 3 more days till Halloween. 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 3 more days till Halloween. Something Shamrock.
Shady Shamrock.
Is it
Silver
Shady?
Shamrock.
Silver Shamrock. That's it. Yeah,
Is that
yeah. Yeah. Silver Shamrock.
Shamrock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we absolutely have to watch it. Luke was like, dude, you're gonna love it. And I was like,
Dude.
I don't know, man. And then I watched it and I was like, this is fantastic.
I don't even remember like why. I think I was just. It was Halloween time.
Well, and the story behind it's so great too. Like when Carpenter was like
Oh.
trying to make Halloween just an anthology.
Yeah, which
And
is what they do now that the rights are for sale. They should
Go back
do
to that.
an anthology. Stop using Michael Myers.
Yeah.
Everybody wants A24 to get the rights.
Oh my
Oh, yes,
goodness.
please.
But I was like, I don't even know why. I was like, I should watch the original Halloween movie. And I was like old enough at this point where I was like not as scared by stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Then I watched it and I was like, oh my gosh, this isn't scary at all. And I watched 1 and 2 and I was like, oh, those are okay, whatever. Slasher movies are kind of dumb. Halloween 3 popped up and I was like, the heck is this? And it changed my life forever. This is the go-to Halloween movie.
It's good.
The go-to fall movie, though, which is kind of around the same time, is Ghostbusters Chicken. Boom. Love that movie, too. That movie scared me when I was a kid. That's a comedy. That's a Don Knotts comedy. It scared the crap out of me. I couldn't sleep for days. Man, I was such a little wuss. Golly. Embarrassing.
Love it. Tyler? Other than Halloween 3.
Yeah, I think. Oh man, it's hard to say because I do like scary movies. Trying to think like which ones I like to go back to. You answer because I need a minute.
I don't know. I'm not like I didn't grow up on scary movies, so what I've seen has either been like classic stuff. Like I've seen maybe the first 2 Screams, then like the last Scream, and like I love the first.
Did you see 6?
Yeah,
You did.
No, wait, not the one in the city.
Okay, so you saw 5.
5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good movie.
So like I have like fond memories of like Scream, Ghostbusters. I don't know if it's like technically but like it's kind of that vibe, right? Let's see. I think there's like just good horror movies out there. Recently think of something like Get Out. I really love. This is a hot take. I really love the Johnny Depp's The Secret Window. Not terribly Halloween-y theme, but like a scary
Dude, that movie's good.
thriller that takes place in the fall in like New England. So I think it fits the vibe.
Just say Batman animated part 1 and part 2.
Oh, the Charlie Brown, like Great Pumpkin.
It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. That is a classic.
That is classic. That's wonderful. So those are the kind of things. I don't have like a super deep list of scary movies that I've just always watched.
One I always
Tremors.
say is The Conjuring.
Tremors.
I think The Conjuring is a good movie to watch this time. Although one of the few like actually scary movies, so I don't love to watch it.
Oh, The Thing is so good. Have you watched Doctor Sleep yet?
I have not. I have it though. We should watch it.
Yeah, we've come up with like 3 movies tonight we just need to watch.
I think it's so wild that I've seen Doctor Sleep.
And neither of us
And
have.
neither of you have. Heck, I saw The Shining in theaters before you had ever seen it until you watched it like last year, didn't you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Oh,
you
that's
guys
right.
came
You
over and
hadn't
watched
seen it until.
That
Yeah,
movie's
because I
so
read the
good.
book and then I was like, guys, let's watch the movie.
Yeah.
It's so. I would say not a movie, but I like watching Stranger Things around this time of year.
Yep.
Ready or Not. It is one I always come back to as well.
I like
Yeah.
watching Stranger Things in the summer. Is that weird?
Just because of when it
No?
comes out.
Yes, yeah. And just like 2 of the seasons are during the summer.
Mm-hmm. I can understand that.
Heck, even like Christmas, even more. Like, it's because that's where the first season is like Thanksgiving time.
Oh, one I
Yeah.
will be adding to my list is The Invisible Man.
Yes.
I'd like to watch that again.
Yep.
And then, of course, always during this time of year, Harry Potter.
Yeah,
as you
Harry
enter
Potter
like
has
the
a
end
lot
of
of
fall
it has a
into
lot
the
of
winter,
pumpkins.
into fall into like Christmas timey.
Mm-hmm.
Harry Potter,
Yeah,
great fall movie.
they are great fall films. Agreed. Luke, you
That's-
look like you had something else to say.
Oh, I finally thought of something that Gareth Edwards could make.
Oh yes,
It's more of a backup though, mainly because this director might have an attitude problem. I'm not really sure, but if District 9 guy, don't remember his name,
Neil
Neil
Blomkamp.
Neil Blomkamp doesn't want to do an Anthem something. Gareth Edwards.
Oh,
I like it.
Yep,
I
I'd
like
be down
it.
for it.
I think Gareth Edwards is he's similar to Neil. in
Yeah.
that he's
Or
like-
heck, if Neil Blomkamp just gets tired of the District 9 sequel questions and hands it off, Gareth Edwards.
that'd be cool.
Yeah, that would be cool. He could do a lot with that. That would be really neat.
Gran Turismo sequel, just give it to get no.
No.
Give
We
Gareth
don't- we don't
Edwards
need
a,
a Gareth
a
Edwards.
Gundam movie too, if you want.
Well, unfortunately, that is being made originally on Netflix.
Yep.
We have no hope.
No.
There's
Unless
no.
Gareth Edwards comes out of the woodworks to save
See,
it.
I would say just make it an anime, but there's like 80 Gundam animes.
That's its original form.
Just do another one.
Oh my gosh. All right, well, let's wrap up with what you guys were doing this week.
Voltron would be really cool too
Ooh,
for Gareth.
that'd be sweet. Anything with giant mechs, you do well with.
Listen, anything with giant mechs I'm watching and will love. I don't
Pacific
care how bad
Rim
it is.
3.
Listen, I mean, you're not wrong.
I'm not. No, look, I know I'm not. So,
Dude, Pacific Rim 3. But you kind of want Guillermo to come back.
I
too.
don't know for sure.
But if he doesn't,
Priority, Guillermo, not.
it's like we did the live action anime version. Let's take it back to this is a giant robot walking through the ocean version.
Yes.
And they're punching.
So I'll go very quickly.
Yep.
Because I've been busy with my daughters. I've been mostly just reading.
Nice.
Finishing up hopefully tonight if I can get home. A book called Fairy Tale by Stephen King. So yeah, just mostly reading. I have like 90 pages left.
Nice.
Pretty good book.
Cool. Me?
Luke,
Ahsoka update.
episode 7 was great.
Episode 7, one episode
It was
left.
good.
Really excited.
Very
Episode
curious where they're
7.
ending it.
Me too. I'm curious. Is like, are we gonna go from this to
To
the Filoni
this?
movie, or is there gonna be Ahsoka season 2? What's
Right.
going on? I kind of need to know. I'm kind of going into a panic. I need to know now. Tell me. But man, I'm really liking that show. I think it's
So I was so pleasantly surprised. I was just so nervous, and yeah.
Listen,
Now he's getting it out again.
she's the best Star Wars character.
Oh my god.
Ahsoka's the best Star Wars character. Just need that on the record in case it hasn't been said before.
I don't know. I've never heard you say it. Tyler, have you?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Never.
Well, I'm
I'll-
glad you got it on the record.
I'll try and bring it up every once in a while, just so everybody remembers that
remind
Ahsoka
us.
is the best Star Wars character,
Yeah.
in my opinion, and hopefully other people's.
No, not your opinion. That's
Best
just-
arc,
just
best character,
Straight up fact.
cool lightsaber fighting stance.
Oh.
Cool lightsabers.
Yeah.
Lots of cool lightsabers.
Great episode.
Green, she got
Looking
blue,
forward
she
to
got
the season finale.
white. Yeah.
Yeah. What else?
Let me look at my. I watched the second episode of The Continental.
Yeah.
We all talked about it. The first episode last week. Second episode, I'd say, was just as good, but in a
Did you
different
watch it?
way.
Mm-mm.
Was it also an hour and a half?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I didn't look. I was never bothered by the runtime, so
That's good.
it didn't affect it. But not a lot of action.
Oh.
For something that is in the John Wick universe, to have so little action, I think is interesting. Being said, I feel like the character stuff they do in the second episode was good. They're trying to assemble the team to raid the Continental, and a lot of that is kind of Winston meeting Sharon, kind of getting him to come to his side, and it's leading up to now in the third episode. It's going to be hopefully a
war.
big fight.
Yeah.
Or heck, maybe Winston. I don't know. He doesn't seem like a fighter. He might just manipulate his way to getting the Continental.
I can see that.
The educator, the girl with the mask,
Mm-hmm.
she's super interesting. She takes her mask off, and they take the camera away.
Oh.
So I'm excited to see if they're just hiding her beauty or she's ugly because she's a bad guy, because they usually. But interesting. Okay, what are you hiding?
Make villains attractive again.
Yeah. Just make Emily Blunt the villain. I'm done. Don't have to do anything.
Done. It is
Beautiful villain.
Yeah.
It's over.
10 out of 10.
I'm there. Day 1. Thursday night, midnight showing. Let's go.
10 out of 10 would abandon all of our morals.
5 stars on Letterboxd. Perfect movie. Masterpiece. This is cinema, said Martin Scorsese. Anyway. That show's good. It's fine. It's still not a reason to subscribe to Peacock, unless you're like me and you never dare cheat. And the last thing that I did was I watched Guy Ritchie's The Covenant.
Yeah.
This weekend. It is on Prime Video, and it was good. I really enjoyed it. Jake Gyllenhaal is really good in that movie. He's also really bad in that movie.
Oh, interesting.
It's really weird. There'll be some scenes you're just like, this is Jake Gyllenhaal.
Oh, that's
heck?
weird.
And then like more towards like the second half of the movie, you kind of get a little unhinged Gyllenhaal. You know, he's breaking mirrors. You know, like he does.
Nice.
I will say I'll look up his name because he's really good. I should give him credit. Guy Ritchie's The Covenant. Dar Salim plays Ahmed in the movie. He's awesome. He's the interpreter. Fantastic performance. It is very similar to Kandahar.
I was going to say, I have 2
saw.
questions to ask you about this movie, so whenever you're ready.
It is better than Kandahar,
Okay, that's one of my questions.
but I wouldn't say it's that much better. I think Kandahar is a little underrated, honestly.
Ah.
Dude, Kandahar was fun.
So they could honestly be taking place at like the same time. It's just like,
Just in a different part.
yeah, like stuff happened.
Yeah, I didn't think Kandahar was a bad movie
Yeah.
at all.
But like even you look at Rotten Tomatoes and this is like at 80 and that's at like 30 and you're like, they're honestly pretty much
the same movie?
this. No, kinda. It's Say We're Lost in a Desert.
Mm-hmm.
I would say Guy Ritchie's The Covenant does better stuff with the characters. You're a little more emotionally attached to him. But Kandahar wasn't that bad, man. Watch it too.
My question was going to be, does it feel like a Guy Ritchie movie?
No.
That's, yeah.
Not at all. And I just really appreciated that. Because, like, you're just thinking, like, if he does the quick-witted editing action stuff he likes to do, what would this movie be like? And I just really liked that he kind of turned that off.
It was just like, I'm just going to make a movie.
Something that, like, he did do, though, which I think was super cool, was when army people are talking army lingo and they let out some acronym, they put it on screen and they say what it is.
Oh, nice.
It's like, thank you. Like, we got a CDH, put Angel in the Sky, and it, like, has whatever CD. I made that part up. But like, Angel is, like, a specific type of bomber. It's like an AC-130.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, thank you for telling me what they're talking about. Because a lot of that military lingo just goes over your head. It's like, okay. They sound smart.
That's
It's
cool,
an
though.
airplane. It's a ship.
They're
It's a
doing things.
Humvee.
They're doing the mission. But yeah, good stuff.
Cool.
Fan worthy. Check it out.
Nice.
Sweet.
Cool. Really the only new thing I did this week was watch the first 2 episodes of Gen V. It's the boys spin-off show set in kind of a college. I think it's fine.
How dare you? People love this
It's
show.
getting
You're
a
wrong.
lot of love.
I saw somebody say this is probably better than The Boys, and I haven't seen it. I was like, whoa. I think it was Paul Tassi.
The first episode's a lot. Like, it's everything you expect in The Boys, they throw in the first hour episode, right?
good.
And so there's just a lot in there.
Like,
Oh, like everything, man.
Okay.
If you can imagine it, it's in there.
I can imagine a lot. I'm a weird
Yeah,
guy.
that's a dangerous place.
Episode 2 slowed down a little bit. Like they were definitely getting to a point at the end of for like the climax of episode 1, right? And then episode 2 is kind of.
Would you say there's climax in the first
There's
episode?
definitely climax in the first episode. Excellent point, Tyler. Yes, I would say that.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know how to go forward from here. I mean,
I got him.
you got me. I'm gonna need a few minutes.
Second episode slows down.
Second episode slows down. You're kind of getting a feel for where the characters are actually going. The first episode does a good job, I think, of explaining their wants. I think the second episode is starting to show us their needs and the obstacles that are going to be in their way. In the same fashion as the boys, who do you trust?
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Not Homelander.
no. And they do make lots of reference. Like, the whole thing with the school is like to be on the top ranked of the superheroes.
Give yourself the best chance of being in the 7.
So that gets you a chance to be in the 7.
Yeah.
So it's the motivation behind a lot of the characters is basically that, right? It's the exact same thing that the boys does, which like, okay, I want to be a part of the 7, or I want to be the best of the 7. So it feels fairly familiar in that way. That said, all of the powers that are kind of being played with are pretty cool and unique. One's not. I mean, most of them are things we've seen before. But
Shrinking.
The main,
Laser eyes.
the main character is pretty cool. She can control blood.
Blood girl.
Yeah, Blood Girl. So I'll at least watch the next episode, get through the first 3, and see where it's at. I don't know if I'll continue past that. But my guess is if you like The Boys, you'll at least find this at least entertaining. You'll be like, okay, yeah, like it's more of this. It may feel like, to me, I think it feels just a little bit too more of the same. Doesn't do enough to really elevate the overall franchise in a new way. But
Would have just rather had The Boys season 4.
I think so. I think so.
But it's still good.
But it's still good.
Hideo Kojima said that he loved
it.
And
Yeah.
he said thanks to Eric. They're on first name basis.
Oh, wow.
Apparently.
Wow.
It's like, thanks, Eric. I think I'll keep watching. And I was like, what?
Like,
This is so weird.
Dude, I
Over
love
on
Hideo
IMDb.
Kojima's reviews that he does.
Yeah, they're great.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
So like, I watched John Wick. I think he called it Consequences, what it was for, and and it's just like, I wish I could write that good. My tweets to be like, I watched this, and this is what I thought about it. Where I'm just like,
It was a good movie.
picture,
Yeah.
thumbs
So,
up. Me like.
if I keep
movie.
watching, I'll keep updating you guys. But
Cool.
yeah. Over in the chat, real quick, Baroque says, I finally watched The Rise of Skywalker in a week where I also saw The Expendables.
Oh, no.
Somehow it was the worst thing I saw this week.
Which was?
I think Rise of Skywalker.
Oh my gosh.
I believe he's saying Expendables was better than Rise of Skywalker, which
I
is not
don't-
a.
Don't believe anybody that reviews Star Wars anymore.
Oh no.
Except myself.
I'm curious, man. I do feel like someone's gonna need to strap me in a chair and force me to rewatch that movie, and maybe I'll appreciate it more.
Why? Just don't watch it. You don't have to watch it. You don't have to like
I
it.
want to. I know I don't have to like it. I'm not trying to say.
Sometimes people just need to move on and watch the best Star Wars character.
Here's the deal, Luke. I want to
Ahsoka
give it a. I
Tano.
want to give it a fair shake, right? And I feel like.
Know what you do? You just gotta turn off your brain, not drink, and just accept it.
Just
Just
accept
say,
it.
you know what? I like
Just
Star
accept it.
Wars. Stuff in Star Wars is kind of dumb.
But
I'm
also,
moving stuff with my mind.
stuff in Star Wars is kind of cool.
It is.
So like, just accept it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just Star Wars. It's fun. It's
Yeah.
cool.
All right. I'll see what I can do.
Or you just move on. You say I didn't like it. Next thing. Next man up. Next whatever. Bring it on, Filoni.
You just go watch more. Book
And
of
watch
Boba
the
Fett.
best Star Wars
That would be.
character.
Real quick before we wrap up our show, Tyler, what's the update on the football game?
Still 14-3.
Womp, womp,
Third quarter is almost over. I am still one leg away from hitting my
All
parlay.
right. Well, unfortunately, we won't know, or we'll probably know, but our audience won't know if you get that parlay or not. But
This is true.
Parlay.
in any case, we want to thank everyone for tuning in with us live, watching on YouTube, or listening on the podcast. Hope you have a great week, and I think we'll be able to talk about all of Ahsoka next week. Or at least
Yeah.
we'll give our
best
overall
And
review.
Star
doesn't
Wars.
Loki start this week too?
I think Loki starts this
Yeah.
week too.
Loki starts on Thursday, right?
Yeah.
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 We excited for that? Do I have to turn my brain off for that? I'm already turning it off for Star Wars. Actually, I don't have to turn it off for Ahsoka because it's good.
We'll be back next week to talk about more things. So until then,
Sweet.
we'll see you.
Goodbye.